Hi, my name is Stacy Grant. This is a part of a video training series for the Bay Area Air Quality Management District's 2024 Public Funding Workshop. So for the next few minutes, I'm going to talk about how to find public funding and where to find it. So one thing I do want to show you is that in our presentation that Samira and Christine and I shared, that we have a slide called Find Grants and Community Data. And so if you have the slides, each of these are hyperlinked to different grant databases, as well as in this document, the public funding resources. You can click on Find Grant Databases and it'll jump down and you'll see that these are organized by federal grant databases as well as state of California grant databases and trackers. And so the two that I'm going to cover in this video are grants.gov and this California grants portal. So first, we're going to go to grants.gov. And up at the top here, you'll go to search grants and you'll get to this page here. Grants.gov is the official federal government website where they post funding opportunities, funding programs. So over 1,000 funding programs across 26 federal grant making agencies awarding over half of a trillion, so $500 billion of awards annually. And so this is where you're going to go to find federal grants, and then a lot of federal grant programs that flow to states are also posted on this website. So on the left-hand side, you'll see different search criteria. If you know the program name, you can go ahead and plug in the keyword, or each funding program has an assigned opportunity number. So if you know that, you can also put that here. The opportunity status, forecasted, posted. Posted means that it's active and open now. Forecasted means that it's coming up, so you can see, what's going to be opening in the next several months. Usually, federal agencies will give a estimated time window or a season that it's going to open. So, for example, fall of 2024. Closed. This is helpful because if you know that you want to apply for a funding opportunity that might be annual, like the EPA Brownfields program that usually opens up in the fall, you can take a look. You can search. It's closed right now, but it'll open up, like I said, usually in the fall. And you can take a look at all of the different requirements and start to prepare your application. The funding instrument type, we're going to focus on cooperative agreements and grants. So the difference there is that for cooperative agreements, you're working really closely as a grant recipient with the awarding agency. So working with them on program design and implementation, whereas for a grant, the grant recipient is really the primary driver of the grant activities and work plan, and of course, still working in compliance with whatever the grant agreement is with the federal grant with the federal agency. Eligibility here. So for many of you, you'll be interested in those for tribals having a 501c3 status. There's categories by project type or issue area, and then a list of all of the different agencies. And so for this search purpose, we're going to focus on a specific EPA air pollution grant that's currently open. One thing I do recommend is that you try to keep your search category fairly broad. Sometimes I do plug in an eligibility for a nonprofit and something won't come up that I know is open and eligible for nonprofits. So for right now, I'm just going to click on the EPA agency, and I'll search here. Oh, I think I already plugged in. So this is the open grant that I wanted to show you in this video. So it's the air quality information. It's a very long name. Making sense of air pollution data to inform decisions in underserved communities overburdened by air pollution exposure. You can see that the awarding agency is the US EPA on June 26, 2024. So if you click on the opportunity number, it will then pull up the synopsis of the funding opportunity or the NOFO, or the funding opportunity and the notice of funding option, this related documents here. And you can, when you download this zip file and open it, you'll be able to see the really specific long list of the funding opportunity and what is required in your grant application. So going back to the synopsis, you can see that this is the funding opportunity number. This is the funding opportunity title. It is a discretionary grant or a competitive grant. Um, there's only going to be an expected number of 8 awards, and total program funding here is 10 million with an award ceiling of 1.25 million. So what this tells us is that this is going to be a highly competitive funding program. It doesn't mean that it's impossible, but what it does mean is that you want to vet the opportunity and make sure that there's really clear alignment with the work that you'll be proposing in your application and the objectives and requirements that the EPA outlines for this program. Down here, you'll see the information, the description of the program. One thing that I do want to point out is that each funding opportunity typically has a person, a point of contact listed. Here they have 3. But the person that is likely going to be your first contact is the eligibility contact. So they have the person's name listed here with phone number and email. Interested in applying for this funding opportunity, that you outline your project and proposal, and then contact this eligibility contact to talk with them about your project idea and to receive some information and feedback from the agency themselves, so that you can understand if there's real alignment and competitiveness in your project idea. So again, if you're registered, you can subscribe to save this. And then of course, grants.gov is also the website where you create a workspace and you actually apply and submit your grant. The other website I just wanted to show quickly, it's listed in the slides and then in the public resources list, is this California Grants Portal. So many of you may already know, but just wanted to highlight this website. This is a aggregator of all state funding awards and programs. And so you can search, that you're a nonprofit or whatever entity best describes you. So we'll click on nonprofit, looking for funding in, and you can click a program area. So maybe we'll type in, or we'll click disadvantaged communities, or you could do environment and water. You can click multiple, and then what kind of time frame do you need? 6 months, Do you need a year, or are you looking for something that might be closing in the next month? So I think we'll just click any time frame just to see. And then it says, show me the opportunities. Um, and now you'll see here um, the state of California's database of grants and what state agency is the grant making agency, with the estimated total funding, if there's match required, um, if it's a reimbursement or advances and reimbursement. So that means that for advances and reimbursement, that the uh, grant is eligible for advance payment, which is really, really helpful. So you can go ahead and click on uh, the grant, and it'll pull up more information about the funding program, including the application deadline, and then the expected award announcement for any of the entities that apply and get awarded. Really important here, it tells you if you need a letter of intent, an LOI, and more information and guidelines on how to apply. So again, if you look in the slides, the information for these grant databases and links are there, as well as in the public funding resources list.